Hi everyone, so glad to be here today. My name is Nikhila. I am a student of California College of Arts. I'm doing my MDiS in Interaction Design. So my question for you today is a little broad. That is, we are preparing ourselves to enter into the market in 2023 August. So what are some of the suggestions that you would give to design students right now so that we could prepare ourselves and efficiently to enter into the market next year? And what you as a Webflow are looking for designers who are entering?
I can say for us, and I mentioned this a little bit in the keynote yesterday because it's true. By the way, you said interaction design?
Interaction is
How cool is that that's a thing? That is such an amazing, amazing thing. It's funny because if you went back in time before, let's say before Flash and before JavaScript, that wasn't a thing, and now it's an entire industry. It's amazing. Yesterday we talked about how we're obsessed, like absolutely obsessed. Sada and I will watch after every keynote we get on the Apple product pages and see how did they build this thing. Oh, they're using a canvas. How is that affecting Transformer? They're using JavaScript. Like we're obsessed with finding out how is it built. And I think that's really my single biggest piece of advice is to continue to absorb what's out there, some of the best designs that make you feel something, whether it's excited or confused, or if there's some type of strobing, perhaps a little unsettled, but not just how they look and how they operate in a visual context, but how they fit together within the context of development, how they're built. What do they look like, or how do they behave to someone who might have a vision impairment? How do they operate to someone who's not actually looking at that interaction? I think there's so many great places to explore there. So for me, it's just tinkering, exploring how it's built and looking everywhere. That's my biggest thing. And I'm sure you do that a lot, but that's our obsession. That's our obsession.
I think I would love, I think right now in particular, and one thing that is so exciting, and I know McGuire and I literally talk about this all the time, is students today versus what I know my portfolio looked like when I came out. It's not, no. But taking a look at what's possible today, and now even realistically looking at the job market, the world is literally your opportunity right now. But that also comes with the opportunity to really think about how can you evoke some of those emotions that McGuire's talking about there in the way that your work is showing up, in the creativity and the uniqueness in the way that you set up your portfolio. And I think for me personally, when I'm hiring designers now, because I love portfolios, I get very, very stuck in reviewing them, is the people that spend the time to also articulate how they got to that, or they have almost like a behind the scenes approach, very similar to how a lot of UX designers have taken that approach, I find is honestly such an exceptional way of really trying to get an understanding of who or how you think beyond what your end result is, which ultimately that's what you're trying to build in your career as a student and as a designer is who are you beyond, behind all of that design, all of the interactions. So definitely take the time to do that when you're putting your work together as well.
Yeah.
One thing that I would add is right now, undeniably, the bar is higher for designers, where you could say, maybe a decade or more ago, it was totally understandable that design was kind of its own discipline that works with engineering, and it could be a little bit more separated, where you just think about maybe visual design and the emergence of product design, where you get closer and closer to product and functionality and UX. Today, the stakes are much higher, where designers, the more that you get closer to the user problem and the business problem, and understand not only the primitives of what you're building for, but the problem that you're solving for people, the closer you are at bridging that gap between how people think and experience a solution and how you can understand not just the ability to implement that solution, that doesn't always have to be the case as the designer, but to understand what you're actually building, the core, the model, really, the things that you are, it's speaking the same language as engineers, for example. So you're not just talking about what something looks like, but what it actually is, what the data model behind the scenes is, how the user will flow through a solution, and really getting close to being able to describe the user pain point or like the business problem that you're solving, that fundamentally unlocks your, like it gives you superpowers in those conversations where you are now as a designer, you are a partner to solving that problem together with other disciplines versus a part of a workflow to maybe like create designs to hand off to somebody else, et cetera. You are really kind of partnering on creating a solution for others. And that is really the new expectation, more and more so from designers, especially as tools like visual development tools, product design tools are getting to a place where it's no longer different disciplines that somebody does visual design, somebody does prototypes, and somebody does implementation, et cetera. All these things are starting to really merge where the designers who stand out the most are the ones who are able to bring something closer to life and talk about those things and represent the user and the business problem in a much more in-depth way, which makes the job of a designer harder, but it also makes it more fulfilling because you can you feel like you're part of the like a core partner in creating a solution and building something awesome, and that's the transition that I'm seeing in the industry when it comes to designers.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.